Well, Queen Elizabeth II has begun her last great journey through Scotland to Edinburgh. It was a 6-hour journey approved by the Queen before her death, planned with royal precision.
She often remarked about having a deep and abiding affection for Scotland, and it was obvious. She had memories that dated back to when she was a child. Balmoral Castle was one of the few places she could relax and do the things that she loved. So it seemed only fitting that that's where her cortege started its long and slow, respectful journey home.
Through the gates of Balmoral, it was the quietest farewell. Rural Aberdeenshire, its birdsong and the rumble of the River Dee laid the soundtrack for a sight most saddening. The hearse carried the Queen's coffin wrapped in the royal standard of Scotland. The wreath on top was made from her favourite flowers, picked from the Balmoral garden. In the car behind, the Queen was escorted by her daughter, the Princess Royal, and her husband, Sir Tim Lawrence. The geography of circumstance had placed the Queen in Balmoral when she passed. At journey's end, there will be a state funeral, set-piece ceremony and all that. But between here and there, this was an informal farewell, an opportunity for the public to say their goodbyes. In Ballater, near Balmoral, they lined the streets. Here, they knew her as the Queen next door. Their village was her village.
We're so fond of this area. It's just a very, very sad day for us all.
Very emotional today and very proud to be part of the United Kingdom, so yeah.
It was so dignified, more than I thought it would have been. And the hush as she came through, and then you could hear the sobbing. I had a sniff myself.
I just found it really emotional. Just like, it's almost like saying goodbye to a family member. It's just really, really upsetting.
Tractors were positioned by the side of the road, an agricultural guard of honour, as the cortege wound a route through rural Scotland. Horse riders too formed up in a field by the roadside as it made its slow 6-hour journey south. This journey had been meticulously planned. Even if there was no public rehearsal, here in Banchory there was applause. Elsewhere there was silence. Everywhere there was respect and remembrance.
It was quite overwhelming, to be honest. I'm very, very proud to be here.
I've never come along to anything like this before, but just really felt that I wanted, it was important.
It's an honour, it's beautiful. Once in a lifetime, it's not going to happen again.
People lined dual carriageways linking Aberdeen, Dundee and Edinburgh beyond, and they looked on from walkways overhead. Closer to Edinburgh, the cortege crossed the Firth of Forth via the Queensferry Crossing, a bridge officially opened by the Queen in 2017. Members of the royal family had travelled ahead by helicopter to fulfil their duties. Once in Edinburgh, the Queen's coffin was driven through the streets towards Holyrood, in the city's old town. The Royal Regiment of Scotland formed a guard of honour at the Palace of Holyrood House, and the Queen's coffin was received with a royal salute. It's being placed in the throne room overnight to allow palace staff to pay their respects. As the Queen was carried inside, a daughter curtsied to her mother, her duty done. This was day one of the Queen's long goodbye, which will span a nation that grew with her, and having learned of her loss, is learning to live with it. James Matthews, Sky News.